Well, although the Zebras tried to ruin this one, the lead was just too dang big. And that led to another big fat W for KU. And with that said, let's do a review. Hey, what's up everybody? It's Drew, better known as RockJug01, and today, yesterday, whenever you're watching this, the 1-0 Kansas Jayhawks were back home at David Booth Kansas Memorial Stadium to take on a Big Ten foe in the Illinois Fighting Illini, and KU won comfortably over Illinois by a final score of 34-23. What to say about this game? KU looked incredible against Illinois for 3 quarters. Also, this was the first game that Jalon Daniels was officially back, and it seemed like the offense pretty much didn't change between Bean and Daniels. Now, I did say that the Zebras did try to ruin this for KU. I think they had some Big Ten bets or something, because they gave Illinois a fighting chance in a game that they really weren't in to begin with. Also, I predicted KU to lose this one, and judging by the way it was going in the fourth quarter, that almost happened. But thank God it didn't. Now, there were a lot of good things that came out of this game, but there is a lot of things that need to be fixed. So with that being said, for those of you who do not know, I give positives and negatives about the game. I give a player of the game and a player who needs to improve. Without further ado, let's do it. So let's start with the positives. First one that I have is KU's total offense, and it did not change one dang bit between Jason Bean starting at quarterback or Jalon Daniels, as KU had an incredible performance on the offensive side of the ball, which includes 277 passing yards, 262 rushing yards, combined 539 total yards, averaging 7.4 yards per play. This also leads to another positive, which defensively, we held Illinois under 400 yards, which actually kind of surprises me. Illinois finished with 341 for the game, which includes 202 through the air and 139 on the ground, averaging 6.1 yards per play. Now, Illinois did have some big plays, including, I think, a 73-yard touchdown run, which kind of gave them a leap over the century mark in terms of rushing yards. But for the most part, the defense did well, and we'll get to what their struggles were later, because, oh boy, if they didn't have those little mistakes, this would have been a near-perfect game for the defense. And then going over the offensive side of the ball, what can you do? I mean, the fourth quarter was a little bit shaky, but you're basically doing clock management, and it almost didn't work, but it ended up working in the long haul. So, yeah, doing well on offense and also maintaining Illinois when they were on the offensive side of the ball. Easy positives. I'm going to combine this one, first downs and third down efficiency. Those are positives. KU did much better getting first downs and also converting on third down than Illinois did. KU had more first downs than the Illini, as they had 27 first downs while Illinois had 19. And if you go to the third down efficiency, KU was 9 of 13 on third down in this ball game, while Illinois was 4 for 10. That's impressive, to say that your defense basically stopped them less than 0.5% of the time on third down, but you also converted more than, I believe, if I can do my math correctly, more than 75%. That's really, really good. So being efficient on third down and also getting first downs and making sure that Illinois didn't do that, also positives. Turnovers, this is kind of a push, as both teams had 2 turnovers in the ball game, but Illinois' turnovers were more critical in the ball game, as both teams had 2. KU had a fumble and an interception, while Illinois only had 2 picks. So at least Illinois maintained possession, like holding onto the ball, but they did throw big interceptions that could have really turned the tide for Illinois in this game, and unfortunately that didn't happened. So again, an even turnover situation. This is a push. I consider it a positive. And the final positive, although it doesn't seem like it, penalties. KU had less penalties than Illinois, as the Illini had 6 penalties for 58 yards, while KU managed to only have 4 penalties for 34. Now, 2 of those penalties ended up being targeting calls, which got 2 KU players disqualified, which the first one, it was a clean hit towards the quarterback, but he got the wind knocked out of him. That's basically why the flag was thrown. And then the second one, it was pretty clear as daylight that that was targeting. Other than that, I mean, forcing Illinois to get more penalties, that kind of helped. But man, I have never seen a crowd get so pissed off at a referee for calling for 2 guys to be disqualified on the same team. That's wow. I mean, we did have more penalties in this one than the Missouri State game, so that's kind of like a nitpick negative, but we did have less penalties than Illinois as a whole, so having less penalties, I consider it a positive. And with all that said, those are my positives. The only negative that I have in this ball game is 4th down efficiency, as KU lost that. Illinois actually did better on 4th down than KU did, as Illinois was 50% on 4th down and KU did not convert on 4th down at all. They were 0 for 1. I mean, the 4th down efficiency actually probably shouldn't have happened, as another bad call overturned a KU first down to make it 3rd down and 1, and that just led to a 4th and 4, and KU couldn't convert whatsoever. But man, the Zebras did really try to give Illinois this ball game, or make it close to the spread line, which was 3.5. Just gotta try and convert on 4th down a lot better than what we did here. So unfortunately, losing the 4th down efficiency battle, that is the only negative I've got. Alright, player of the game, and I'm actually going to give co-players of the game because both these guys absolutely deserve it. And the first guy that I want to talk about is Jalon Daniels, QB1, after being out for the Missouri State game with a back injury. He made his season debut and didn't miss a beat. JD6 was 21-29 for 277, 2 touchdowns and 1 interception, as well as having 11 carries for 24 yards on the ground. There was a couple throws that Jalon had that was kind of questionable, but he played out of his mind besides having that one little lob pick late in the game. Other than that, he was very consistent. I mean, completing basically 60% of your passes. Touchdown to interception ratio is 2-to-1. That's pretty good, and almost a near 300-yard game, which, yeah, you don't see that very often now, as you see quarterbacks at KU get about $190 on average. Also, with the run game, Jalon had 300 yards combined for the game. So, yeah, this was a no-brainer that JD deserves it. And, yeah, with that said, Jalon Daniels is my co-player of the game. The other guy that deserves it is Devin Neal. Real deal Devin Neal, the mayor of Lawrence, whatever you want to call him, had another stellar game, both receiving-wise and also rushing-wise. Devin finished with 10 carries for 120 yards and a score, averaging 12 yards per carry, and also had 4 catches for 47 yards, almost averaging 12 yards per reception. So he was basically getting a first down every time he touched the ball. So that means for the season he has over 200 yards and 2 scores already through 2 weeks. That is on pace for another 1,000-yard season. He made plays that were like out of nowhere. And one of them was kind of interesting, where it was like the offensive line absolutely shifted off to the left and left like 3 guys down there. and he took the snap, and it was just green all over the place, and he ended up picking up like 20 yards on that play, which I thought it was a broken play that was not supposed to happen, but it was designed. But anyway, going back to Devin, he really balled out. He made incredible plays, read, blocked pretty well, made incredible catches as well. So, yeah, no question here. Devin Neal deserves a Player of the Game nod. So, with that said, my co-players of the game, Jalen Daniels and Devin Neal. Player who needs to improve, I would say it's got to be Mason Fairchild. He didn't see much of the field in this one, but he did get a catch for 16. I really don't have much else to say. I mean, I wish he would have got more action, but in this situation, he was more of a rush block kind of guy. And Grant, he got open once. Other than that, he was non-existent. So hopefully that changes in the next couple of weeks. But for now, my player who needs to improve is Mason Fairchild. And before we go, I'm going to give a top play. And a lot of people would say it's the 48-yard bomb that Jalen Daniels had to Luke Grimm in crunch time before we hit halftime. But that is not going to be my top play. My top play is going to go to the defensive side, as Illinois was trying to drive to make it a ball game and a one-score game late in the fourth quarter. It fell into the hands of Quentin Lassiter, the brother of Kwame Lassiter II, to seal the victory for KU with this big INT. So, here's Quentin's big pick. If it wasn't for Quentin getting this interception, Illinois would have kept driving and made this a ball game. And Quentin sealed the deal with it. Congratulations to Quentin Lassiter. You got my top play. But anyway, that is going to do it for my review of KU versus Illinois. Again, the final score, Kansas 34, Illinois 23. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe, and push that notification bell, and tell your friends about these videos. And I should see you again for the next review, as the Hawks will travel west to Reno, Nevada to take on the Mountain West Nevada Wolfpack. And it will be a late one, because this kickoff time, in terms of Central Standard Time, is at 9:30 at night. So hopefully I'm awake to give you a review. I plan on doing it. And yeah, it should be an interesting game, because we have two guys on the defensive side that are going to be out for the first half. But until then, have a good day. Never ever bring exotic dancers to the field house. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.